Welcome to Chris Ryan Fitness, everybody. Today I have a fantastic 10-minute to win it strength abs workout at an intermediate level for us today. We're going to be getting on after. It's only going to be 10 minutes in length. We're going to be getting on after those abs, of course, in the best way possible, the limited amount of time we have. So without further ado, let's take it down on the ground. Quick little dynamic warm-up for us on the ground before we get started here today. Come on down on all fours. So your knees are going to be on the ground just behind the hips, hands on the ground just south of the shoulders. You're going to go into a nice little cat-cow position, starting out with a cat purse, where you're going on in, pressing hard through those palms, taking your chin in towards your chest, looking towards your belly button as much as you can, pressing hard right on through those palms, elevating your rounded back position as much as possible. And then we're going to go ahead and drop it in the cow position where you're going to arch your back, tailbone points up towards the sky, eyes out in front. There you go. Trying to go for the max flex and extension as much as possible through that spine. One more time into that rounded back, cat-style position. Pressing hard through those palms, and then go ahead and arch your back all the way on through. Oh, yeah, spine's nice and loose and strong. Now take that right hand up to that right temple, gently touch the side of the head, and then take that elbow south of the shoulder, north of the shoulder, reaching up towards the sky with the elbow, eyes follow up towards the elbow. Open on up again, down low, up high. Reach on up through those ribs and those obliques. Switch it up, right hand down on the ground, left hand up to that temple. Left elbow punches up high to the sky. Hold for a second or two up at the top side. One more. We go all the way up. Oh, yeah. Feeling good right there. And now flip it over on your backside. A little activation with that core. So your head's going to rest on the ground. Knees are going to come up over those hips. Hands reaching up high to the sky. Standard dead bug hold right here. Now, here's the kicker of this one. I just want you to slide your ribs down towards your hips as much as you can and push that belly button down to the tailbone. So that lower third of your back, lumbar spine region, gets flush with the ground as much as you can. Reach those fingertips up. Notice those abs clench on in. That is ab activation 101 right there, everybody. Great work. Okay, so might as well get on after it, right? We're going to get right on after that dead bug position that you're just in. We're going to get on after it here today, everybody. 10 minutes to win it starts here. Take it on through left arm, right leg, all the way out, back on into center. Right arm, left leg, all the way out, right back on into center. You go. Reaching and stretching, keeping those toes dorsiflexed back towards your body, keeping those toes flexed in towards your shin and knee the whole way through. Slow and controlled contractions right here the whole time. If that is too much, extending out the opposite arm, opposite leg, I just want you to concentrate on extending those arms right here. Keep that lumbar spine compressed on in. Notice when you work with those arms, the lats flare out a little bit. What I want you to do is think opening up, but at the same time closing those ribs in towards the hips. So as you open up, you're going to have that counterbalance and tension, sliding the ribs towards those hips. You're going to feel those obliques on the upper abs tighten right on up. Oh, yeah, right there. 10 more seconds, everybody. Reaching, extending all the way on through. Head stays resting on the ground. Keep those fingers spread nice and wide. Elbows straight as possible. All the way home for 2 and 1. Go ahead and do a high plank position. So high plank, standard push-up position, eyes down towards the ground. You're going to go into a slow mountain climber. Going to take that left knee towards that left elbow as far as you can. Right knee in towards that right elbow as far as you can. Toes dorsiflexed on in the whole way through, activating through those abdominals, through those obliques, and those hip flexors. Oh, yeah. Chin in tucked in towards your chest. Eyes are down towards the ground the whole way through. Slow and controlled through those mountain climbers. We're not doing cardio here, everybody. We are doing some muscle movement. Come on. Shoulders, hips, square to the ground the whole way through. Power punching through those palms the whole time. So you're actively trying to turn your tailbone down and in towards the ground. Remember that cat position that we did earlier? Not necessarily rounding your back, but you are turning that lower body in towards the ground, activating that core with that anterior pelvic tilt ever so slightly, and pushing hard as you can through those palms to stabilize that core and that torso. For 2, 1, low plank position with a little pike action. We go. So now what you can do, forearms strong through the ground, 2 tight fists out in center. This is the low plank. Forearms strong to the ground, elbows south of the shoulder, chin in towards your chest, abs nice and tight, feet hip width apart. Good, good, good. All right. Now you're going to go from that low plank, pike the hips up, look towards your toes, drive your head through those arms as much as you can. So you're keeping those abs tight, open up through the shoulders, and then coming back underneath all the way to that low plank. Once again, you're going to go back on into that low plank to the pike position, just slow and controlled contractions all the way through. About a second hold up at the top, second hold at the bottom, and then drive it up for a couple seconds, hold, and then down, slow and control for a couple seconds, hold, right back into it. But be careful as you come down. Don't sag the hips towards the ground, right? You want to think tailbone tucked in the whole time, keeping those abs nice and tight the whole way through. And you are punching through those forearms as hard as possible. For 2, 1, reverse crunch time. Flip it over on your backside now. So standard position, balling yourself up nice and small, chin in towards your chest, extending, head off the ground, chin in towards your chest, eyes are forward, abs nice and tight. This is the full range of motion standard movement for the reverse crunch at that tempo. Modifier, head rests on the ground, hands on the ground, working those knees on in, tailbone pointed up towards the sky at the top side, keeping those abs tight as the heels go back to the ground, right? Lumbar spine, just like in that dead bug, perfectly flat on the ground as much as possible. What we want to avoid here, whether you're doing the modifier or the standard, is developing a C curve in that lower back and that lower lumbar spine, right? Where the lumbar spine disengages from the ground, that means the abs disengage. That means we might as well not do the movement in the first place, right? Here we go. We got to keep those abs under tension the whole way through. Come on. Kick it on in. Pull it on in. Strong all the way. 2 and 1. Great job right there, everybody. Crunch with alternating arm extension. This is a fun one. Chin in towards your chest. Hands reaching up towards the sky right here. So eyes are up towards the ceiling. You're going to reach up with just that right arm a few inches, back into center. Reach up with that left arm a few inches, right back into center. You go. Reaching, holding, extending all the way through. But both arms are going to be reaching right at the same time. But then you're just going to reach a little further with one arm at a time, working that rib to the opposite hip, and then go on into the opposite side. Your chin is always in towards your chest, and this is going to flare up those abs. Nice and strong right there, right? Little spicy, reaching, extending the whole time. Eyes are forward, heels on the ground, toes flexed on up, pulling the rib down and in as hard as you can towards the opposite hip, reaching, extending the whole way through. Come on, light it on up, everybody. Work that core. 3, 4, 2. Last rep, finish up the pairing wherever you're at. Low plank hip dips. Again, we go to that low plank position. This time we're just going to dip those hips a little side-to-side action, working those obliques a little harder. So low plank position, stabilize your torso. Now just tilt those hips down and in a few degrees to that right side without moving your chest and sternum and shoulders. Eyes stay straight, square down towards the ground, over to that left side a little bit. There you go. Love it, right? Squeezing the rib towards the hip down towards the ground ever so slightly. Eyes are down towards the ground, power punching through those forearms as hard as you can, right there. Oh, yeah. Amazing. Tailbone's down and everybody punching hard as you can through those forearms. Fists nice and strong the whole way through, squeezing those abs hard as you can, making every ounce of effort count here today. Every second of this workout, of your 10 minutes to win it, absolutely crushing it. Awesome work. There you go. Light up that core. 3, 2, 1. Oh, amazing job. Canoe time, last minute. Here we go. So lean on back ever so slightly. Heels down, toes flexed up. You're just going to turn and twist. Eyes are forward. Elbows firing side to side action. Your eyes are forward. So you're looking to over the top side of your toes as much as you can. But you are squeezing down and in through those ribs to the hips, right? You're rotating through this midsection position the whole time. But with your eyes forward, you're going to keep that torso in the whole time. Toes flexed up towards the sky. Eyes are forward. Heels are down. Rotating slow and controlled. Grinding through those abdominals. Opposite sides on in, right? Here we go. Squeeze hard as you can, everybody. Slight backward lean. Ears slightly behind those shoulders. Shoulders slightly behind those hips. And that slow, controlled contraction pace all the way through that finish line to Six-Pack City. 2 and 1. Welcome to the cool down, everybody. Pop it on up. Stand tall. Stand proud. And flex them if you got them. You had 10 minutes to win it. You had 10 minutes to light up that core in the best way possible. So proud of each and every one of you for bringing your A game here today and entrusting me with your abdominal strength here today. Let's go ahead and stretch it on out quickly. Feet out nice and wide. Toes turned out about 30 degrees. Palms facing up towards the sky. Oh, my abdominals right there, right? So you're pulling those thumbs back. Now you're expanding your ribs. You're getting that dreaded C curve in that backside, right? I told you not to get earlier, but now you're stretching, so you're expanding those ribs. You're disengaging those abdominals because you're so far in that contraction phase the whole way through. So now we're just going to do some easy breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And you're going to go ahead and clap those elbows up to the top side position with the opposite hand. And then just tilt a little bit over to that left side, a little bit over to that right side. We go. See you next time on Chris Ryan Fitness, everybody. Fantastic work here today.